Right, joining me now for his analysis on all that and more, foreign editor at The Australian, Greg Sheridan. Well, welcome Thursday on Credlin. As always, Greg, this stoush about the 43% emissions reduction target by 2030, that's Labor's claimed mandate. The Greens say they want it to be more. They want oil and gas projects or new oil and gas projects banned. But the PM's right. He says, look, if you don't take our coal and you buy it elsewhere, you actually are going to emit more because our coal is of higher quality. If the coalition doesn't end up supporting the 43% target, and why would they? They opposed it at the May election. How's it going to get it through the parliament?
Well, Peter, this is a fascinating thing. I mean, I've written almost exactly the words Albo said today in columns many times myself. I'm sure he wasn't inspired by me, but he is 1,000,000% right. And he's much more forthright about this than a lot of his colleagues, Tanya Plibersek and Penny Wong, who seem to be unwilling to say, yes, the new government embraces new coal and gas projects, provided they, pass the normal regulatory tests. So, Albo deserves a gold star or a special elephant or something in his homework book. Frankly, the government shouldn't get obsessed with this legislation. If the Greens kill this, the legislation is of no consequence. And if the Greens kill it, the government has every right to say the Greens are the enemy of effective, sensible, practical, middle-of-the-road action. So much of the common sense of this government seems to reside in Albo himself. And, more power to his elbow.
You've got to wonder, though, why all these Liberals are tying themselves in knots. I mentioned Bridget Archer wanting to cross the floor, or certainly threatening to cross the floor. She's making a bit of habit of that in the Morrison government and now here. But also Liberal left-winger out of New South Wales, Andrew Bragg. Have a listen to his comments today.
I'm open-minded about the legislation, as you would expect me to be.
Now, it was only a couple of months ago, this goose was out in the parliament, banging out in the campaign, telling people, support us. Our target is between 26 and 28% by 2030. A couple of months down the track, he's basically aping Labor on this.
Yeah, am I right in remembering, Peter, that the Liberals once pre-selected this guy over Jim Molan? I mean, the party must have taken leave of its senses. I mean, why would any Liberal worth two bob be talking about crossing the floor when the legislation hasn't even been presented and the Liberal Party itself hasn't even had a process to consider it? This is showboating. I mean, the guy seems to be in the wrong party. Why does the Liberal Party select these people time and again? The Liberal Party will certainly lose the political battle if it loses the intellectual battle. And this guy does not present a coherent case at all. He just wants to be Labor light and say me too to the zeitgeist all the time. Well, saying me too to the zeitgeist didn't get them anywhere. They embraced targets and all the rest of it last time. And they got murdered by the Teals. They never engaged the argument.
I wrote in The Australian today in my column on this very point. I mean, let them cross the floor, but they can stay with Labor. Don't come back to the Liberal side of the chamber.